in the headlines of this hour on VTV News. National Assembly's 8th session officially opens. And Vietnam's trade turnover exceeds 610 billion US dollars. In our world news, Israel launches airstrikes on HEZBOLLAH'S financial arm.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good afternoon. It is 3 p.m. local time and you're tuning in to VTV News. I'm Huynh Tan with the top stories. Under the chairmanship of National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn, the 8th session of the National Assembly opened on Monday morning in Hanoi. Party General Secretary and State President Tô Lâm and Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính attended the session. More in the following.
At the beginning of the opening session, National Assembly deputies observed a minute of silence to honor fallen soldiers and victims of Typhoon Yagi. National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn emphasized the session's substantial workload. The National Assembly will review and approve 18 draft laws, 3 draft resolutions, and discuss 10 other draft laws for the first time. These legislative efforts aim to address urgent practical issues, resolve institutional policy challenges, unlock resources, overcome bottlenecks, boost socio-economic development, and safeguard people's livelihoods.
I request that deputies promote democracy, intelligence, professionalism, and scientific approaches, focusing on providing comprehensive feedback on both the content and technical aspects of the draft laws. The laws should be concise, only addressing issues within the authority of the National Assembly and not matters belonging to circulars and decrees. The goal is to unlock resources and better control power to prevent group interests and local interests within laws and resolutions. The laws and resolutions passed should be of high quality and can be implemented for a long time.
This session will review and decide on establishing Hue City. It will also consider investment policies for national target programs on cultural development from 2025 to 2035, drug prevention and control until 2030, and the North-South High-Speed Railway project. The National Assembly will also conduct supreme supervision on real estate market management and social housing development policies and laws from 2015 to 2023. Additionally, it will proceed with the election of a new state president and address several personnel-related matters within its authority.
Also, at the opening session of the 8th National Assembly meeting, Party General Secretary and State President Tô Lâm delivered a key speech containing important messages.
Party General Secretary and State President Tô Lâm highlighted the achievements made since the beginning of the 15th National Assembly and the progress in implementing goals and tasks for 2024. He urged the National Assembly to continue its strong reform efforts in organization and operations.
A strong reform in legislative work is needed, including shifting the mindset in lawmaking to ensure both state management requirements and the encouragement of creativity to unlock all productive potential and resources for development. Legal provisions must be stable and long-lasting. Laws should only address framework issues and principles, avoiding excessive length. For frequently changing practical issues, it is essential to delegate authority to the government and localities for flexible management, innovating the process of lawmaking and implementation. Laws should be grounded in Vietnam's practical realities, allowing for an iterative approach that incorporates lessons learned. It's important to avoid hasty decisions and over-perfectionism, which could lead to missed opportunities. Instead, focus on citizens and businesses as the central subjects, promoting decentralization and delegation with the principle that localities decide, localities implement, localities are responsible. Administrative procedures should be radically reformed to reduce compliance costs and create maximum convenience for citizens and businesses. focusing on controlling power in lawmaking, tightening discipline and accountability, especially regarding the responsibilities of leaders, and firmly combating negative practices and group interests. Proactively and urgently developing a legal framework for emerging issues and trends, particularly those related to the Fourth Industrial Revolution, artificial intelligence, digital transformation, and green transition. This framework is vital for successfully implementing the digital transformation revolution and creating breakthroughs for the country's development in the coming years.
Party General Secretary and State President To Lam also urged the National Assembly to enhance its oversight and decision-making on crucial national issues. He called on the National Assembly deputies to lead by example and contribute to building the country's development framework with a spirit of innovation and reform, dedicated to serving the homeland and its people.
On Monday morning, Prime Minister Phie addressed the National Assembly and the public, reporting on the outcomes of the 2024 Socio-Economic Development Plan and outlining the proposed plan for 2025. More to follow.
Prime Minister Phie emphasized that the global landscape in 2024 has been complex and unpredictable. Meanwhile, Vietnam not only has to face external challenges, but also long-standing internal limitations and urgent issues arising from natural disasters with severe, lasting impacts. In this context, the government is closely monitoring developments and is dedicated to a decisive and flexible implementation of necessary tasks and solutions.
The first 9 months have seen significant progress across most areas. We estimate that 14 out of 15 annual targets will be met or exceeded, with GDP per capita likely hitting its goal if growth exceeds 7%.
Alongside the positive results, the Prime Minister highlighted several limitations and challenges. Macroeconomic stability has some hidden risks, while production and business activities continue to face difficulties. After outlining these challenges, the Prime Minister emphasized the government's key tasks and solutions for the remainder of the year.
Our goal is to meet or exceed all 15 key targets. We aim to maintain development momentum while ensuring macroeconomic stability, controlling inflation, and achieving over 7% GDP growth for the year, with inflation kept below 4.5%. We're targeting around 15% credit growth and a state budget revenue increase of at least 10%, along with a public investment disbursement rate of at least 95% as assigned by the government.
In 2025, the government aims for key socioeconomic targets, including GDP growth of 6.5 to 7%, with aspirations for 7 to 7.5%, and a CPI of around 4.5%. He stressed the importance of institutional reforms, improving legal regulations, enhancing decentralization, and simplifying administrative procedures to eliminate corruption and inefficiencies.
As of mid-October, Vietnam's trade turnover has surpassed $610 billion, with a trade surplus of over $21 billion, according to data from the General Department of Customs. Processed and manufactured industrial goods account for about 88% of the total export turnover. Many items are expected to meet their set targets this year. The textile and garment sector anticipates a turnover of $44 billion, while the leather and footwear sector is projected to reach around $27 billion. Meanwhile, fruit and vegetable exports may hit a record high of $7 billion. 83% of over 30,000 businesses expect business activity and production to stabilize and improve in the fourth quarter, according to a survey by the General Statistics Office. And more than 40% of the survey businesses expect an increase in new orders by year-end. The foreign direct investment sector is projected to achieve the most positive results, with the highest forecast growth in a production volume and new orders. However, according to the General Statistics Office, businesses still face challenges such as low domestic market demand, increasing competition, and international market demand still in recovery. Farmers in Hậu Giang province are grappling with unpredictable weather that threatens their agricultural production. Recently, high tides have exceeded alert level 3, compounded by issues such as saline intrusion and landslides. In response, local farmers are rushing to harvest their autumn-winter rice and take protective measures to safeguard their fields from damage. And these swift actions are crucial for preserving their livelihoods amid ongoing environmental challenges.
For several days now, Phie and neighboring farmers have been diligently pumping water to protect their crops. Rising water levels threaten his over 20 hectares of crops.
You need to keep pumping continuously until the water is drained before cutting. Farmers should also find a cutting machine early. Don't wait too long.
During this rainy and stormy season, harvesting rice is tough. The rice falls over, which drives up costs for farmers. Plus, with rain, cutting gets delayed.
Currently, Hậu Giang has over 8,700 hectares of autumn-winter rice in the ripening stage. Farmers need to take advantage of sunny weather for a quick harvest. Meanwhile, for fish ponds and orchards, it is crucial to cover them, secure the banks, and build up embankments.
We suggest that farmers start harvesting rice as soon as it begins to ripen. In areas with dikes, it's important for farmers to pump out water proactively to prevent flooding.
In Hậu Giang, tides are rising and receding slowly. Farmers must closely monitor water levels to respond swiftly and minimize the impact on daily life, agricultural production, and transportation.
Now, before we move on to other important updates, let's take a look at the foreign exchange rates of today, October 21st. Coming up next on VTV News. Lạng Sơn border guards join hands to help people in border areas stabilize their lives. And international visitors to Ho Chi Minh City surge. Now moving on to other news, central Vietnam is currently experiencing heavy rainfall, with many areas in Thanh Hóa to Quảng Ngãi recording over 100 millimeters of rain. The area from Thanh Hóa to Bình Định will continue to see widespread heavy rain on Monday and Tuesday, particularly from Thừa Thiên Huế to Bình Định, where rainfall could reach 50 to 120 millimeters, with some places exceeding 180 millimeters. There is a risk of intense rainfall causing flooding in low-lying areas, flash floods and landslides in mountainous regions. In the Central Highlands and Southern region, thunderstorms are expected on Monday afternoon, with localized heavy rainfall potentially exceeding 80 millimeters. This could lead to flooding, whirlwinds, lightning, and strong winds during thunderstorms. Additionally, the southern region may face level 3 tidal warnings and continue flooding on Monday afternoon. Recently, the Lạng Sơn Border Guard has launched several practical and meaningful activities, including border charity houses, border guards join hands to build new countryside, and Vietnamese border bamboo fans, driven not only by duty but also by genuine affection for the local people. These soldiers have joined hands to construct sturdy homes for residents in the border areas.
By this Lunar New Year holiday, Wang is expected to have a new house with all the basic furnishings. The house frame, costing about $2,000, has been built entirely from the salaries and allowances contributed by officers and soldiers of Ba Sơn Border Guard Station. These soldiers, along with other village volunteers, also participated in the construction.
I'm very happy that the border guards have helped me build this house.
The Border Charity Houses program has been launched and implemented by the Border Guard Force for many years. While the houses handed over may be simple, they are sturdy. For Border Guard officers and soldiers, these solid homes also demonstrate their gratitude to the local people. Stabilizing people's lives will serve as a foundation to strengthen the nation's border security.
A more stable life for people creates trust, strengthens solidarity between soldiers and people in border areas, and enhances border security.
Border guards live and work alongside the local communities, helping people stabilize their lives and develop the economy. They also play a vital role in the comprehensive policy of building strong trust among residents in border areas.
We will be more proactive in implementing the Prime Minister's directive to launch a nationwide movement protecting national sovereignty, territorial security, and border security. Our key task is to build a strong border while helping people develop socio-economically and improve their lives.
Through practical actions such as building houses and roads and collaborating with local people to improve the living environment and develop the economy, the Lạng Border Guard has recently partnered with local authorities to elevate 13 border communes to new rural standards. These efforts have strengthened the solidarity between soldiers and the people, firmly building the people's border defense and security.
Vietnam welcomed over 12.7 million international visitors in the first 9 months of this year, surpassing last year's figures. Key cities attracting tourists include Hanoi, Da Nang, Quảng Ninh, and Ho Chi Minh City. In Ho Chi Minh City alone, more than 4 million international visitors arrived in the same period, marking a 12% increase from last year. And with ongoing innovations and promotional efforts, the city's tourism industry is poised for a significant boost in international arrivals during the upcoming peak tourist season at the end of the year.
These tourists from the U.S. are visiting Ho Chi Minh City for the first time. They're eager to explore the city's diverse landscapes and cuisine. They're particularly excited about the city river tour.
We are very interested in our tour today. We've heard some stories about what to see and what to expect. We're posting beautiful photos all over our social media. Our friends and family are saying great things about our photos. So yeah, absolutely. We will definitely recommend Vietnam and Ho Chi Minh City too.
Travel companies report a 10 to 15% increase in international group visitors and individual tour buyers compared to last year, primarily from European and American markets.
We're excited to welcome cruise and river passengers to the southern region and expand our reach to the Indochina region and northern provinces. We're also focused on building connections with domestic and international partners to offer tourists competitive prices and diverse experiences.
According to the Ho Chi Minh City Department of Tourism, the city is focusing on developing unique tourism products, enhancing service and cuisine quality, and implementing favorable visa policies. The city is actively promoting its tourism programs in key international markets, thereby boosting its appeal to global travelers.
The city's tourism industry has launched several promotional activities. Major corporations and airlines are also getting involved. As a result, the number of Australian visitors choosing Ho Chi Minh City and Vietnam is on the rise, and we expect to meet our goal soon.
With the steady increase in international visitors to Ho Chi Minh City, the tourism industry aims to welcome over 6 million international visitors this year, generating revenue of approximately $8 billion USD.
Phu Quoc Island in the southern province of Kiên Giang has secured second place in the list of Asia's top 10 islands, according to Condé Nast Traveler's Reader's Choice Awards 2024. The New York-based travel magazine's recognition marks the third time Phu Quoc has earned this prestigious title, scoring an impressive 95.36 out of 100 points, a significant jump from last year's 8th position. Covering 567 square kilometers and home to 180,000 people, Phu Quoc boasts both wild and natural beauty. The island features a marine sanctuary and a national park renowned for its diverse trekking activities. When one thinks of Hoi An City, images of sparkling red lanterns and moss-covered old tile roofs come to mind, along with its long-standing traditional crafts. However, over time, some of these traditional crafts have gradually faded away. Driven by a desire to preserve these cultural values, a group of young people has come together to create a space called Handicraft Village, where traditional crafts are combined and continue to develop through the hands and creativity of the younger generation.
Hoi An Handicraft Village was established in June 2023. We currently have 7 workshops with 7 activities. The first activity is making handmade leather goods. The second is handmade leather carving. The third is making and painting masks. The fourth is making models of Vietnamese traditional costumes. The fifth is making macrame, the sixth is crocheting, and the seventh is recycling scrap fabric.
Originally a seasonal market, Handicraft Village has developed into a permanent space with traditional craft classes held daily.
We are very proud of this community. We don't think about profit, but the value our handcrafted products bring to people.
Through handicraft making lessons, Handicraft Village has contributed to enriching the experiences of tourists visiting Hoi An in an intimate and authentic way.
I've come here before, but this is the first time I come as a student. I love how they all have different skills and talents that they're happy to share. But above all, it's how they support each other. Hoi An has a very special soul to it. I don't know how else to describe it. I think other cities in the world have to build up this tradition of crafts and arts to then welcome both locals and foreigners. I think Hoi An pretty much has it in its blood. I think it's a pearl in Vietnam, actually.
The members of Handicraft Village not only create exquisite handmade pieces daily, but also help promote and preserve Hoi An's traditional cultural heritage.
Coming up next in our world news. Israel launches airstrikes on Hezbollah financial arm. And China cuts key lending rates to support growth. The Israeli army launched a barrage of rockets across Lebanon, including 12 in Beirut's suburbs, after announcing its targeting of Hezbollah's Al-Qard al-Hassana financial institutions' offices. Large explosions and fires were observed near Beirut's international airport on Sunday night. Hundreds of Beirut's residents evacuated their homes late Sunday after Israel declared its intention to attack sites linked to Hezbollah's financial operations and urged people to leave those areas immediately. The Bureau of Civil Aviation Security officials held a meeting with representatives of airlines on Saturday when more than 30 flights of 7 airlines received bomb threats. And over the past week, more than 70 domestic and international flights of Indian Airlines have received bomb threats. Although all flights landed safely, the incident has disrupted the Indian aviation industry. In response, the Indian Ministry of Civil Aviation plans to introduce strict regulations to prevent fake bomb threats against airlines, including putting perpetrators on the no-fly list. China cut benchmark lending rates as anticipated at the monthly fixing on Monday, following reductions to other policy rates last month as part of a package of stimulus measures to revive the economy. The one-year loan prime rate was lowered by 25 basis points to 3.10% from 3.35%, while the 5-year loan prime rate was cut by the same margin to 3.6% from 3.85% previously. The lending rates were last cut in July, and data on Friday showed China's economic growth was slightly better than expected in the third quarter, although property investment fell more than 10% in the first 9 months of the year. Retail sales and industrial production picked up in September, and at a Friday press conference, officials expressed confidence in achieving the government's full-year growth target of around 5% and hinted at another cut to bank's reserve ratio before year-end. Zombies surprised passengers aboard a running bullet train on Saturday in an event the organizer boasted as the world's first haunted house staging on Japan's high-speed railway network. More to follow.
The roughly 140-minute ride, which came with a price tag from $220 USD to $367 USD, connected the country's capital Tokyo and Osaka, home to Universal Studios Japan, which is currently organizing Halloween-themed events with zombies. Aboard a bullet train were around 40 thrill-seekers, ready to brave an encounter with the living dead between Tokyo and the western metropolis of Osaka.
It was a lot of fun. Their makeup was very well done too. I was able to have fun while being seated and time really flew.
A crew of ghouls entertained passengers with magic and other performances.
At first I felt a little nervous because I have like a love-hate relationship with being scared. I didn't know how bad it was gonna be. I get a little anxiety. But honestly, as soon as I got in, I saw just how happy everyone was. Like, I feed off of energy, and everyone's energy was really positive and happy. So immediately when I got on, those nerves kind of faded away, and then by the end, I didn't want it to end. So it was enjoyable from the beginning to the end.
The event organizer said that it hoped to run a similar ride next year for Halloween, but with Japanese yokai monsters.
Now, before we say goodbye, let's take a look at the weather forecast. And that's all the news we have for this hour. To rewatch our program, you can download our mobile app VTVgo or check out our YouTube channel VTV4Go. Thank you for watching and see you next time.